or am I seeing fish on a flight? All right, ooh, take a look at that. New video this afternoon of what some are calling an apocalyptic sight that looks like something out of a movie. This is what drivers saw yesterday afternoon in Phoenix. That right there,
Yep.
Massive dust cloud, yeah, sweeping over this like something out of like a Marvel movie or something. This is a different perspective right here of that wall of dust. It's a time lapse. It's taken from a home camera there, and the cloud just comes up and swallows everything here. Visibility gets down to, wow, to really bad there. The National Weather Service says this made actually for life-threatening travel conditions, and you can see why. That is thick stuff.
Thank goodness we don't have to deal with that. I mean, we have our own issues.
We do have our own issues, but I want to talk about this because, believe it or not, this same process that creates these dust storms is tied all the way into how we get Saharan dust moving across the tropics. But let's talk about this first. So you've been here, right, for big thunderstorms, and you get that big gust of wind ahead of a storm, exactly. And you get dust in the air, but it's never to the point where it brings down visibility because we don't live in a desert climate here. So it's more just kind of like dirt and debris flying through the air. Another name for these dust storms, the meteorological term, believe it or not, is haboob. Okay, so what is a haboob or a dust storm? How does it form? It's caused by strong winds that are produced by thunderstorms. And basically what happens is that as these thunderstorms begin to collapse, they send out that giant rush of fast-moving wind, and that will pick up dust from the ground, especially in desert climates like we've got out in Phoenix, Arizona. And that wall of dust sometimes can be a mile high in the sky. And what it leads to is very hazardous driving conditions with limited visibilities to near zero. You've got mechanical issues for planes. They actually shut down the Phoenix airport for a time last night. And of course, it can cause health issues and breathing issues. So this is a lap of radar and satellite from yesterday. Here are the storms. There's Phoenix. The storms fired up south of the city, and then they sent out this big rush of air. And so you could see the dust, and I'll actually pause the image right there. The leading edge here, that copper color, that's the dust actually visible on satellite, and that's racing ahead of those storms. So notice we didn't get the rain in Phoenix right away, but you got that big push of wind, and that's where all that dust came from. Now, how does this tie into the tropics? It's the same principle. You've got the Sahara Desert in North Africa with north winds blowing all of that dusty, dry air, meeting up during the monsoonal flow, the monsoonal months, with warm and humid air. And so where those two air masses converge, you get storms that develop. And those storms, just like what we saw in Arizona yesterday, as they start to collapse, they create outflow. That outflow then moves across the Sahara Desert. It picks up dust from the Sahara, and then the trade winds carry it across the Atlantic. It's all the same process. We just don't get to see the images that we do out of the desert Southwest from the middle of the Atlantic because, again, it's out in the middle of the Atlantic. But it's all the same process. Really cool and stunning images there.